Good morning, Elm City Sprouts. Thank you so much for joining me this morning on my couch as we celebrate Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Today we have a bunch of different videos being sent out into the world, and this is one of them. Today we'll be learning a little bit about a song that has inspired generations after generations and has uplifted families during times of trouble. Today's book we'll be reading is Sing a Song: How Lift Every Voice and Sing Inspire Generations. And it was written by Kelley, Starling, Lyons, and illustrated by Keith Mallett. So I'm actually going to read the sleeve, or as they call it, the jacket, right, the book jacket. I'm going to read the sleeve to help you all understand a little bit about why we're reading this story and how it's important for all of us to learn about something that has affected so many different families and generations. So, celebrate the song Lift Every Voice and Sing. How many of you have ever heard of the song Lift Every Voice and Sing? Just with a show of hands. The first time I heard this song, my first question after was, why have I not heard of this song? And so we're going to learn a little bit about how some families have passed the songs from generation to generation. So, for over a century, the song Lift Every Voice and Sing has offered inspiration to generations of Black families. Created by two brothers, one of them was a principal of a segregated all-Black school for a tribute to Abraham Lincoln's birthday. The song was originally sung by a chorus of 500 children. So hear me when I say that, right? There is a principal, and he teaches us an all-Black school. Back in the day when we had segregated schools, so where white children were allowed to go to one school, Black children were allowed to go to another school, but they couldn't go to the same school. So this principal, he wrote this beautiful song as a tribute, right? So a song to honor Abraham Lincoln, who was the president at the time, and it was sung by 500 children. So it wasn't grown-ups who were singing this song, it was kids like you, just your age. From that day forward, the song took on a life of its own. Students grew up and passed it on to their children, students, and congregations, who then sang it to their children and grandchildren. It has been sung during major moments of the civil rights movement and at family gatherings and college graduations. Inspired by this song's enduring significance, Kelley, Starling, Lyons, and Keith Mallett tell a story about 5 generations of families who gained hope and strength from the song's inspiring words. All right, so I'm about to read the story. I hope that you all are in a comfy space, a comfy position. I don't know what good listening looks like for you. Maybe it's, hanging out on your couch like this. Maybe it's hanging out like this. Maybe it's hanging out like this. I'm not really sure, but I want you to get into a position where you feel comfortable and you are ready to listen and receive a beautiful story about a beautiful song. Before you were born, a girl learned a song. Her principal, James Weldon Johnson, and his brother, John Roseman Johnson, had written the hymn for a celebration of President Abraham Lincoln's birthday. So I want you all to notice, even now in the story, we have all of the children going to school, but notice how they all look the same. Because back then, as I explained before, the schools were segregated. So they couldn't go to school with people who didn't look like them. The girl wanted to make them proud. She hummed the song on her way home from school. She practiced it as she did her chores. How many of you have ever had a project that you've had to do for school and you were so excited about it that all over the house, when you're in the shower, when you're in the bedroom, when you're in the kitchen, you're just practicing it because you want it to be just right? Let me see a show of hands. I know I've been like that before, practicing again and again and again because I just want to get it right. So this young girl That's exactly what she's doing. She's practicing the song. She's saying, lift every voice and sing. She's practicing because she wants to get it right. On the big day, February 12th, 1900, that was a long time ago, guys. She was part of a choir 500 strong. Back straight, right? Head high, heart and mouth open, she sang. Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring, ring with the harmonies of liberty. So, I don't sound like the choir, right? I'm just trying to sing along. But with this choir, right? So this is just a few kiddos, right? But remember we read that there were 500 of them singing this song together. And she kept on singing as she grew up. She taught it to her students when she became a teacher. She crooned it to her husband as they journeyed from Jacksonville, Florida, to a new life in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So here we see she's grown up. She's a grown-up now. And she's teaching it to her students, and she's singing it to her husband, and she used to live in the South, and now she's going all the way up to the North, and she's teaching it to people in the North. It's really cool. So the song is gaining traction. She sang it when she rocked her baby boy to sleep. It was part of her she wanted to pass on. And you know what? Her little boy learned that song. He listened to her hum it as she dreamed of being able to teach again in her new home. He heard his daddy sing it when the old days at the steel mill wore him down. Then, one day he stood in the choir loft and gazed at the glowing faces. Back straight, head high, heart and mouth open, he sang, let our rejoicing rise, high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling seas. And he kept on singing. He sang it when he came back from World War II and faced discrimination. He sang it when he joined the NAACP. So if you can see this sign right here, it says, we cater to white trade only. Right? So even though this gentleman fought in World War II to protect the Americans, when he came back home to America, he still wasn't allowed to shop in the same stores as white people or to eat in the same places, even though he had defended the country just like his white brothers and sisters. He sang it with his wife and to his baby daughter as he rocked her to sleep. It was a part of him he wanted to pass on. And you know what? His little girl learned that song. She sang it each morning at school. Then came the day that broke the nation's heart. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was killed. The next morning, she saw her teacher cry. Sobs replaced singing, then whimpers and silence. Who would lead them now? The song whispered an answer. Back straight, head high, heart and mouth open, she sang. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. And she kept on singing. She sang it at protests for equal rights, and when she and her friends were jailed. She sang that song in her heart each time she won or lost a case as a lawyer. She sang it to her baby boy as she rocked him to sleep. It was part of her she wanted to pass on. And you know what? Her little boy learned that song. Every family reunion opened with the anthem. He sang because he had to at first. But then, something changed. He saw the awe in his grandparents' faces, saw the pride in his mamas and pops. Back straight, head high, heart and mouth open, he sang. Sing a song full of hope that the present has brought us. And he kept on singing. He sang it at his college graduation, and when he opened his first business, he sang it at rallies to stand up against racism. He sang it holding his wife's hand at Black History programs, and when he rocked his daughter to sleep. It was a part of him he wanted to pass on. And you know what? His little girl learned that song. And on another big day, September 24th, 2016, she stood in a crowd of thousands along with her mama and daddy. President Obama, the First Lady, and generations of our family, one family, rang the freedom bell. A dream born a century ago to honor Black lives and contributions had finally come true. The National Museum of African American History and Culture was officially open. With the Washington Monument piercing the sky, that little girl stared at the bronze building, majestic as a crown. As bells around the nation tolled in triumph, she heard a voice rising too. Clear and strong it was, a song she heard her parents sing. Back straight, head high, heart and mouth open, she sang. Facing the rising sun of our new day begun, let us march on till victory won. And you know what? That song is part of you. Sing when you score a victory. Sing when tough times get you down. Sing and think of all the people who sang before you, who carried on and pushed forward, even when everything was against them. Sing and remember, they never stopped believing. Keep singing. Keep pushing. Keep passing it on. Keep on keeping on. The end. Wow, that was a fun story. Thank you so much for listening and agreeing with me. It's such a beautiful song, and I'm actually going to play one version of the song for you all to see on YouTube. It's from Kirk Franklin, who is a beloved gospel singer and composer. And I just want you all to be able to hear the song. It's one version of it. It will sound different when different people sing it. I would sing it versus my mom would sing it, right? But I want you all to just hear and see the words of this amazing song and the history behind it. So thank you so much, and let's turn this on. All right. Lift every voice and sing to earth and heaven. Ring with the
is won. Now we're adding something to it. Just to encourage you. We're going to take it to church later. Let's go. Keep marching, fighting till the victory's won. To all my brothers out there. Hold your head up, brother, till the victory's won. For all my sisters in the struggle. Keep believing, sister, till the victory's won.